Okay, I think we're live. Welcome everybody to our weekly code review workshop. It's 28th of March, and we have one point to discuss from course.
I had a case with Myanmar recently, and I didn't investigate it deeply, but I noticed that I actually wanted to see a Webpack report for the bundle size that is launched on tier 2. But I didn't see that, and I think the case was that the tier 2 didn't get triggered after the initial review. So I get the tier 2 badge, but I didn't see the pipeline start. I don't know, maybe it was delayed for some time, or it was just skipped for some reason, the tier 2. It
Uh,
doesn't make sense. I think it should be triggered, right?
yeah. Do you mean that it only runs on tier 2?
No, it ran on tier 1, and then I got an initial approval for my
Yeah.
MR from initial reviewer. It got a
Okay.
tier 2 badge, but it didn't
Mm-hmm.
run the tier 2 pipeline.
Okay. Well, maybe there was an incident at the same time.
Could
Problem with
be.
pipelines.
Could.
No, my question was whether
Mhm.
does the bundle size analysis run on the tier 2? So like if I am the only approver and a maintainer and it goes from tier 1 to tier 3, does it
Yeah,
mean it was skipped
no, no. I
or
think
not?
it would still run on tier 3. So it's not
Okay.
tier 2 only. It's tier
Okay.
3 also. I think it's up from tier 3. Although you wouldn't see that the issue here is that you as a
Mm.
maintainer wouldn't see that when you approve, you have to run that
Right.
again and then see the change. And that's kind
Right.
of an issue here when people jumped right away to maintainers review.
I had no idea about it. Like I had a couple of MRs I was reviewing recently, very simple
Mhm.
changes. And
Mhm,
yeah, it went straight from tier 1 to tier 3. And like if
mhm,
yeah, then it just runs
mhm,
once unless
mhm.
the pipeline fails and I need to retrigger it. But it's
Yeah.
usually run the pipeline, set merge when pipeline succeeds. And
I think
yeah,
if it fails, you just check at least I do. I just check the output logs if it's, accidental, not related. If it's not related, I don't double check the reports down the stream. Like I don't double check what Digibot has to say
yeah.
to me. I just retry that, and because I already, review this MR. Maybe we want these warnings to be early stage things. We need to probably consult whether it's super expensive to do so.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I think I saw several cases where this thing was skipped, and I think I was a second reviewer, so I think it had approvals before me, but I'm not sure about
Hmm.
that. And I think I had this case where the tier 2 pipeline, maybe it was a hiccup, maybe it was skipped, I don't know. And what we just discussed that, yeah, probably we want this to happen earlier. Um,
I'll leave a note here.
Do you want to add to this? Because I have another side of this to share.
No, go for it. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, there is another thing that we discussed on the front end call recently. That we currently it's still about this Webpack report. We currently report there the main bundle size and the average change of the entry points on our pages. Um, We don't report their super sidebar as a special entry, so it's just among the other all the other bundles, and reported as part of the average report. I think we
Mm.
would like to report this as a on a top level entry, so any change to that should be immediately visible, just like the main bundle. I don't know
Yeah.
if why don't we include this in the main bundle yet? I think I think historically, when we
Mhm.
were migrating from the of migrating this sidebar, maybe we had a case where it was a separate entry point because it was under a feature flag.
Yeah, might be.
Maybe that's historical,
Mhm.
and we can now just include this in the main bundle size. I don't want to be the author of MR that includes the sidebar
Why
the main
not?
bundle because the report would be huge there. Like the bundle
Hmm.
analysis would say that, hey, you just inflated the main bundle like up 5 MB or something.
Hmm.
But maybe this is the
Well,
case that we don't need to enhance the report. Maybe we could just include this in the main bundle.
mhm. Who would be the team that takes care of it? Would be foundations?
Yeah, I think Foundations worked on this sidebar. If you're talking about this sidebar, the report itself, I think it's IP was the author there, and we have a bundle. And I'll share my screen.
Hmm.
Um, Give me a sec. Um, it's a bundle one, right? Boom, boom. So yeah, we have a bunch of um, help projects, and I think this
Hmm.
is the one that does the reporting. And it uses, I haven't figured out the details. I need to consult IP here. This is the project, and it imports, when it bootstraps, it imports from sibling projects. And I need to figure out how to properly set this up
Hmm.
to verify the changes. Anyway, yeah, maybe our path could be just to include the sidebar in the main bundle, and
Hmm.
let's be fine with that.
You need to add some labels or ping someone on your issue. No one's gonna see it otherwise.
Yeah, I think I think I have to ping explicitly.
Yeah, or
Um,
bring it to the front end department. I don't know.
yeah,
But then sometimes not many people join. But
I hope that more people will join the next one. I want, and that's not related to the code review,
yeah.
but we have the 1 KB challenge, and I want to post
All right,
the
that's the
video
next one. Yeah.
as you suggested to post the video in
Yeah,
the channel about this.
I need to start
Yeah, yeah,
my
that's
idea.
stressing. That's stressing.
The time is running
Uh,
out.
I want to, I want to, how to say that? How to say that? Spoil that there are already contestants. So
Okay.
people, yeah, I
All
hope
right.
that. So yeah, this is a requirement for us. I think that we have to do something.
True.
So yeah. What I wanted to say else. Yeah, that's it from me. I was wondering, you shared recently the accessibility tool run on the site speed. Would it be
Yes.
run in the Mars? What's the expectation there?
Not at this moment. So what I did, I basically used a project that runs on against staging and against two other test environments. But because it's a tool used for performance mainly, we decided to only include accessibility results in the artifacts of the job because the the site speed gives you that nice website that it creates with the results. But what we're doing with the results with the JSON, we're actually piping it to a wiki page where we print some of the results that are like standard metrics. The same is shared on the Slack channel. So you can like quickly monitor every day what's the difference. And the same short version of the results is pushed to Grafana. So because that tool existed in that shape for a long time, that's why we didn't want to mix performance and accessibility in the same place. But there is a big project that will sort of revive this setup because it wasn't used at some point for some time, and then it was started again. So then the new revival thing will actually take it to a next level. And we're defining the results we want to see, the benchmarks, or like the benchmarks, thresholds. So for that revived version of it, we have already accessibility as a definition of done. So it we built with that from the start. But it also, the part of it is also making the tool more usable. And I saw, let me find the link. I saw the epic for it, and the usability is in terms of a dev experience. So making it more available for engineers and sort of like a shift left situation. Because right now it's actually engineering managers, product managers that sometimes look at it. And there's also the list of the pages that we're scanning is limited. So I know source code review has its pages. There's some pages from plan, and there are pages for a couple of pages for pipeline. So this is the epic from the quality engineering. Okay, I put the link later, but I want to share with you. I don't know if I can. Maybe not share. Maybe I'll talk about it, so we don't have to make it public. But there is an idea how to make it an MR widget. So then you will get the performance results and accessibility results on the MR. And I suspect
That's super cool.
What it will do, it will run your changes, or the GitLab version with your branch on a test environment. That's how I think it will work.
Would it need to set the environment for that? Like, is it kind of review ops like, or is it?
I imagine it will be something like that.
Mhm.
But I don't know the specifics.
I would love to get review ops back for various reasons.
Yeah. Well, I think it was quite costly, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and also I very often had cases where it like the build didn't work and I couldn't use it anyways. Yeah, but yeah, so the goal of the new setup is to have engineers use it as well before something gets merged. And yeah, as you trying to do with the analysis of the bundle size, that will be another indicator of how it changes affect the performance.
So you're saying that there would be a tool as the next iteration of the site speed we currently use with accessibility analysis built in, and we might be able to run this in the MRs.
Yes.
That's
However, this is this is a different level of testing, sort of, that I was trying to do with my working group, because we wanted to also shift left for accessibility testing, automated, but have it more detailed. Like my idea with the feature test, it didn't stick well, but was that you actually write the test so you can decide in what state the UI is, because the Axe engine checks the page in like at the state and like what's visible at that moment of the test run. So if we're talking about site speed using it, it will be loading that page. Nothing will be open, like no models, no drop downs. So it is a limited scan of that page. But we can also set up the project because it runs against specific URLs. So the project that runs against can be set up in a way that you have like as many widgets and UI components used as possible. So if you think about MR,
Just trigger everything.
yeah, so like
Mhm.
make it so that all MR widgets are there, so comments are there, like like just adjust how the project itself looks like, but it's still limited to that what you get when you enter the page. Um, so it's a good step forward, but it doesn't mean you have all the all the possible
Mhm,
results
mhm, mhm.
shown. But I think it's especially important when we get that on a Mars to catch regressions of things that we're currently working hard to
Oh yeah,
fix.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So you're saying that we have the tool, right? That snapshots the page on the load, not
Yes,
during interaction, just on the load,
yes,
and we take this as a base for our accessibility tests, just to verify that we don't progress there.
yeah.
That's already in
Yes,
for several
it's
groups.
not printed to that Slack channel or it's not in Grafana.
Right.
But if you get to the artifacts of the job, that you can get to that from the Slack. There's a link you just follow. You get very detailed results to the point where you get the element that violated the rule, the link to the documentation about that rule, what types of disabilities are affected by it, like people with, I don't know, screen magnifiers will not be able to use it. And there's also on that documentation page, there's also how a couple of ways how to fix those issues. So it's not ideal because it's like you need to be in that Slack channel or on that project and like go to that artifact to check it. But what you can do is like once a month have I don't know 15 minutes to check if the results are the same as previous month. And then if something new pops up, create an issue for it and address it. Yeah, so a bit of manual navigation, but
Mhm, mhm,
still
mhm,
automated
mhm.
tests.
Yeah, that's again, I think we should be iterative here, and I love that you iterate towards the more stable and better results. Could you share any links for the tool and where it reports?
Sure. I'll just put
Maybe
it
it would be
after the
useful.
meeting so I can do it
Yeah,
quicker.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, of course. Um, yeah,
Cool.
I'll add the note. So another thing I was working on recently was the update to Storybook. That's
Yeah,
we can
I
upgrade
wanted to
one version.
participate there. That's I saw that would be super awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I will add the test accessibility test funnel to that once we have the upgrade done. And the accessibility tab will be working now, but it's still in terms of the code review, we're still at the stage where if someone edits the components in a view shared folder, we just get that message from a danger bot that it was changed. Check the storybook. But I was thinking the message is so vague. Like I remember before I realized we have a storybook. I had no idea what that is. What should I do here?
Yeah.
So we still are missing some of the stories because people just don't know the storybook exists and they can write a story for a shared component.
Maybe. I think currently we report this in the list of issues that the danger bot provides
yeah, yeah. And it's
alongside the.
sometimes a lot. So you can
Yeah,
miss it
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
message.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I know that if a coworker of ours, I don't remember the name, was working on an automated tool to create stories, storybook stories, just to
Mhm.
feed the tool a story and generate them. What I saw And that could be a great bootstrap for the coverage, especially if we have the accessibility added there. I think it would boost our coverage greatly. I think what I saw is that sometimes the storybook not fails, is broken by NMR, and I'm not sure we
Mm,
have the tools to ensure they don't fail. So I'm
mm.
not sure we just verify that, we launch the storybook and no errors were reported.
Huh.
You know what I mean? So when we have accessibility, that would be automatically probably verify that, it worked.
Well,
But
yeah, it will fail then
yeah,
if it doesn't.
but
For
maybe it
sure.
would be fine. It would show the error, and error doesn't have any accessibility violations, and it would say, "Yeah, you're fine."
Okay, I'll have that in mind when I add the runner. Uh, okay. I'm
I
curious how it
Mhm,
is on the GitLab UI side because they need to have stories for each component, and I'm curious if
mhm.
it's still a job of someone who reviews the MR to make sure the story is added, or did they automate it? The
Um, for the
like
for the
fail
news stories.
pipeline when there is no story for a component you touch.
I think they could fix it process-wise. Like I think it's
Yeah.
it's easy to have reviewers just to ensure that there is a story. What I don't know is if there is a automatic check if all the stories still work. I think that's an
Mhm.
important part.
Yeah.
Um, and you would probably want to figure this out for the main code base, because yeah, I've seen the cases, and if we heavily increase the coverage, and I think we want to increase the coverage. That would be how to say that? That would be crucial for this. As a reviewer, do you often check the storybooks? Like, are we well aware when we review stuff that there is a storybook
Hmm.
nearby? Because in my yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I wasn't there for a long time, but when I realized, I check it every time when I review something, and it's also a good point where to add that missing story, uh, because like not many people would just pick it up and do it as an issue, a separate issue. Um, so right now I'm quite aware about it. If there is no story, like I check if there's a story. What I'm not very good at still is to check if the changes to the component require a change to a story. That's another level.
oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. So, but it's also you it's just one folder, just shared components. So sometimes you get a change to a shared folder every couple months. So it's also easy, like when you think about the maintaining the knowledge
Mhm,
and
mhm, mhm, mhm.
the process, like to be a maintainer and just do it twice a year. And so
Mhm.
then between those reviews, you might forget about remembering that.
Uh, uh,
Um,
um, so um, we have stories not only for view share, we have stories for the client side applications as well. Did you know that?
I
Um,
know that dashboards have, like analytics has a lot of stories.
yeah, in the usage quotas, we try to also have greater story coverage. Um, see, there are sides of applications that are super hard to explore, geo, advanced
Yes.
search, that kind of stuff. And I think with the view shared, we could even try to set this as a requirement for a component to have a story. Uh,
Mm.
Again, we probably should have better tools to ensure that the stories run properly, that the coverage is adequate. Probably there is we could devise some report on coverage, like if the change
Hmm.
in the component has a coverage, like if the lines are visited
Yeah.
when the story is open. But anyway,
Mm,
uh, I think we have under coverage on stories on applications, especially with the hard
for sure.
to visit things, and I've seen gaps where updates to the stories are missed when the application is updated.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, we definitely want to have better automation in testing to verify that the
Yeah.
changes are stable.
And it's a great tool. Like when we talked in that workshop even with Paul months ago, like sometimes it's so hard to seed a part of the application you're reviewing, and sometimes it's just a UI change. So a storybook is perfect for that. If it's just a UI change of something that setting it up will take a lot of time,
Mhm.
just running the storybook locally and checking it, it's a great
Mhm.
time saver. Yeah, and I don't think many people realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with these CSS changes, and I had an MR with that, and I tried to actually write a story just to verify the
Hmm.
CSS
Yeah.
changes. It's crazy. I would love to have this easier way to run the either run the feature, just
Hmm.
have a script like a feature test just to set up the mock environment and get
Yeah.
the browser or a storybook. Storybook is a how to say that stub for this workflow. Set me up the environment and run
Yeah.
me the
Mm.
application. In this case, um, I think yeah, we either should have this or better storybook coverage. Although yeah, we don't. I think we don't have proper tools for this. Anyway, regarding the update, the storybook update to version 7, what's the challenges there? Do you need any help there?
I
How
actually
to start?
finished. I made yeah,
Oh,
I make it
really?
work.
That's super
I'm
news.
waiting. I'm waiting for the maintainer review. So I'm hoping it will merge next week.
That's super
Um,
awesome.
the problem was well, a little bit of hiccup with the update because it's not the newest version. The newest version uses Vue 3 and we couldn't do it. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
it got a bit of searching for the comments and the auto there's a script to auto Mhm.
Update.
Auto
Mhm,
migrate to
mhm,
the
mhm,
newest version. So a little bit of digging to find that because everything is like you run default and it goes to 8, and I didn't want that. And I was also not sure like on which version 7 I should land, and the changelog is awful because like they still develop 7 but release 8 already. So I
Oh
was going through
yeah.
the change log and
Mhm,
it was like,
mhm,
I'm looking for
mhm.
7, it's 8 now. Okay, no more 7. But then I look forward and it's like 5 more updates to 7 something. So that was a bit annoying. But in terms of the changes, the biggest problem was with Webpack. And then resolving some paths, MJS, some assets, but nothing very, I wouldn't say something that will need entire rewrite. The majority of the changes in the format of the config options were done by that script, so that was neat. And then, yeah, the longest I spent on the MJS files resolving that, and like just like realizing that's the problem.
Mhm.
But yeah, all in all, the MR is not that big in terms of diff. Yeah, and things are working, and like all the tabs where you have controls and accessibility tab, that was
Mhm,
not
mhm.
rendering like that. It was just flashing, and like it was constantly rendering with errors. Now
Mhm.
it looks perfect,
Oh,
stable,
that's
and
super awesome.
yeah. So
What do we do next? You want to plug in there the accessibility tool, right?
Yes, the tests.
Mhm,
So we have that accessibility tab, but you actually need to like open the story, go to the tab, see the list of things that comply or not. But the moment we add the accessibility runner, you get full test coverage on each story added. So you don't need to write any tests actually. They are just hooked to every story. And every variation of the component will get the tests, and the pipeline will just fail with those. We did the same in the GitLab UI. We first did
mhm,
the end-to-end accessibility test with Cypress, but then you had to write a test for every component in every
mhm, mhm,
variation. And with the switch to the storybook test runner, you just delete all those files and it just runs automatically for everything you create in the future. So like you don't have
mhm,
to think
mhm,
about, oh,
mhm,
we need
mhm,
to add the test because we created a
mhm,
new component. It's all
mhm.
like out of the box. Really neat.
That's super awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I would love to have this for the view shared on the main code base. This is awesome.
yeah, yeah. Next month, I hope. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, this is great news. I think yeah, this is the great point to wrap up. I think this would be an amazing update. Can't wait to see it.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yeah, me too. Okay, should we finish earlier?
Yeah, I think I have nothing to share. Thanks for sharing all the accessibility things. That's a great move forward. I really love that. Yeah, we have a couple of follow-up points, but otherwise, yeah,
Mhm.
we can wrap up and see you on the next meeting.